What if everything you've heard about climate change was wrong? Could the planet be playing a massive prank on us? Well, let's start unraveling this tangled mystery. Climate change, a term that has been thrown around a lot lately. It's a topic that's been marinated in controversy, with a myriad of perspectives, assumptions, and yes, even dubious claims. In the vast expanse of information and misinformation, how do we separate fact from fiction? That's where we come in. We're going to cut through the noise and debunk top 5 common yet dubious claims about climate change. We'll delve into the misconceptions, dissect the arguments, and uncover the truth. We're going on a journey, a deep dive into the heart of the climate change conundrum. But remember, this is about more than just the facts. It's about understanding our world and our role within it. So, if you're ready to dive into the world of climate change misconceptions, tighten your seatbelts. Starting from the bottom of our list at number 5, we have the claim that climate change isn't real because it's still cold. This statement, while seemingly logical on the surface, is a classic example of confusing weather with climate. Weather, my friends, is what we experience on a day-to-day basis. It's the rain that ruined your picnic plans, the snow that made for a magical Christmas morning, or the heat wave that had you reaching for that extra scoop of ice cream. Weather is immediate, it's local, and it's highly variable. Climate, on the other hand, is the long-term average of weather patterns. It's the big picture that emerges when we step back and observe weather patterns over a span of years, decades, and even centuries. Now let's bring in the concept of global warming. When we talk about global warming, we're referring to the long-term increase in Earth's average temperature. This doesn't mean that every place will be warmer all the time. Rather, it means that the overall trend is a warming one. And here's the kicker. This warming trend can actually lead to colder weather in some places. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But it's all down to the complex ways that warming affects global climate patterns. Warmer temperatures can lead to melting polar ice, which can disrupt ocean currents and wind patterns. These disruptions can, in turn, lead to colder winters in some places, more intense storms in others, and even prolonged droughts in yet others. So to say climate change isn't real because it's still cold is a bit like saying hunger isn't real because I just had lunch. It's a misunderstanding of the broader context and the longer-term trends. So, next time someone tells you climate change isn't real because it's cold outside, remind them that weather isn't the same as climate. Moving on to claim number 4. Animals can adapt to climate change. This is a claim that, on the surface, seems to make sense. After all, animals have been adapting to their environments for millions of years, right? But let's dig a little deeper. The rate of climate change we're experiencing now is unlike anything the world has seen in millions of years. It's not just about the heat, it's also about the rapid and drastic changes in weather patterns, rising sea levels, and the increasing acidity of our oceans. These changes are happening too fast for many species to adapt. Think about it this way. If you're suddenly thrown into a pool of water, you'll instinctively try to swim. But what if the pool keeps getting deeper and deeper faster than you can learn to swim? That's the situation many animals are facing today. Now let's talk about habitat loss. As climates change, so do habitats. Forests dry up, coral reefs bleach, polar ice melts, and animals dependent on these habitats are left without a home. The golden toad, the Pyrenean ibex, the West African black rhinoceros. These are just a few examples of species that have gone extinct due to habitat loss caused by climate change. And extinction is a serious concern. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, climate change is the greatest threat to biodiversity by the end of the century. Many scientists believe we are already in the midst of the 6th mass extinction event in Earth's history. So, it's not as simple as animals just adapting. The reality is a lot more complex and concerning. It's not about survival of the fittest, but survival of the fastest. And unfortunately, not all species can keep up with the pace of change. The truth is, climate change is not just a human problem, it's a problem for all life on Earth. Before we continue to the top 3 dubious claims, we'd like to remind you to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share this video. Join our community of truth seekers and be part of the conversation. Your engagement fuels our passion for busting climate change myths and spreading awareness. Don't miss out on our upcoming content. Stay informed, stay curious, and together, let's make a difference. Your support helps us debunk more climate change myths. Now back to the countdown. Claim number 3 on our list. Climate change is a natural occurrence. Let's delve into this. Over the course of Earth's vast history, yes, the climate has indeed changed naturally. We've had ice ages and warm periods, all due to the planet's tilt, orbit, solar radiation, and natural carbon dioxide fluctuations. It's a slow, gradual process spanning hundreds of thousands, even millions of years. But here's the rub. The climate change we're experiencing now is anything but slow and gradual. It's rapid and it's accelerating. And the main driver? Human activity. The Industrial Revolution in the 18th century marked a significant turning point. We began burning fossil fuels on a massive scale, releasing vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Deforestation, another major contributor, has further exacerbated the problem by reducing the number of trees that absorb carbon dioxide. And what's the result? Our planet's average temperature has risen by more than 1 degree Celsius since the late 19th century, a pace far exceeding any warming period in the past 2,000 years. That might not sound like much, but it's enough to set off a chain of disastrous events, from melting polar ice caps to extreme weather events. Moreover, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere today is higher than at any point in the last 800,000 years. 800,000 years. That's not something we can simply attribute to natural processes. So, does climate change occur naturally? Yes, it does. But the climate change we're witnessing now is largely human-induced. It's like comparing a leisurely walk to a sprint. Both will get you to the same destination, but one will get you there much quicker, with far more consequences. So while climate change can happen naturally, there's no denying the significant role human activity plays today. At number 2, we have climate change is not caused by humans. Now, this is a rather interesting claim, isn't it? But let's dive a bit deeper. Firstly, it's important to understand that there is an overwhelming scientific consensus on human-induced climate change. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, states that it is extremely likely that more than half of the observed increase in global average surface temperature since the mid-20th century is due to human influence. So, what's our role in this? Well, it all boils down to the greenhouse effect. The Earth's atmosphere contains greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide, that trap heat from the sun. Normally, this is a good thing, as it keeps our planet warm enough to support life. But here's the catch. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've been pumping out these gases at an unprecedented rate. This leads to more heat being trapped, thus warming the planet. And let's not forget about deforestation, another human activity that contributes to climate change. By cutting down forests, we're not only releasing the carbon stored in the trees, but we're also getting rid of one of our best tools for absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So despite what some might believe, humans are indeed a major contributor to the current climate crisis. And now the most dubious claim of them all at number 1, there is no consensus on climate change. This claim suggests that the scientific community is divided on the reality of climate change. But is that the case? Not quite. In fact, there's an overwhelming agreement among scientists worldwide that climate change is real and primarily caused by human activities. Numerous high-profile scientific organizations such as the National Academy of Sciences and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change have publicly voiced their agreement. These organizations represent thousands of scientists from a multitude of disciplines, all converging on the same conclusion. Our planet is warming, and we're the culprits. This consensus isn't a matter of opinion, but a reflection of the compelling, comprehensive, and continually mounting body of evidence. So, contrary to this claim, there is a strong consensus on climate change. It's a reality we must face and act upon.